this course, AEM503, and this is week 7 of this particular course. And at the end of this course, ladies and gentlemen, this particular class is then we are treating Unit 13 and Unit 14 of this particular course. Remember that this course is in units, right? And so at the end of the course, the students should be able to know all those things that are related to sectors related to differential rates of adoption of new agricultural technology. They should be able to know about the concept of sectoral differential rates of adoption of new agricultural technology. The students should also be able to explain the implication of innovation process, and as well be able to explain the consequences of innovation decisions. It's going to be an interesting course. I enjoyed all of you to participate actively, and you'll be sure you did at the end. Thank you very much, and have a good day. Good day, ladies and gentlemen. You're welcome to this course, AEM503, and in this particular class, we'll be talking about, or we'll be treating Unit 13 and 14. If you remember, this course is presented in units and not in modules. However, at the end of this course, the students should be able to know about the concept of sectorial differential rates of adoption of new agricultural technology. They should be able to explain the implication of innovation decisions, and they should be able to explain the consequences of innovation decisions. Talking about introduction, agricultural mechanization embraces the use of tools, implements, and machines for agricultural land development, crop production, harvesting, preparation for storage, and on-farm processing. It includes three main power sources, which are human, animal, and mechanical. The manufacture, distribution, repair, maintenance, management, and utilization of agricultural tools, implements, and machines is covered under this discipline with regard as to how to supply mechanization inputs to the farmer in an efficient and effective. The organizational factors that promote and inhibit successful technological implementation and adoption is very critical. This enhances existing models of information technology, implementation, and adoption, but tell us if public agricultural administrators can find improved methods of implementing and adopting technology. They will be able to fulfill the promise of the link between technology and productivity. It is well known that top-down bureaucracy means of transferring technology do work. One factor other than administrative support responsible for the diffusion was the suitability and adaptability of the technology. If the technology is good, of course, definitely many people will adopt it. But if it is not, it may not be adopted. Another factor is the access of these users to the resources and institutions which this technology is meant for. So the more they access, the more they want to use this technology. However, another factor there is the price and procurement support. Besides the input subsidies, they all work for and against this technology. The private sector recognized tremendous scope of gains in participating and accelerating technology. Again, the high expenses and poor internal collaboration often sink provider efforts to implement technology initiatives. Ladies and gentlemen, these factors, depending on where they stand, help to encourage or discourage technology. Agricultural technology adaptation and appropriateness. Agricultural technology varies from place to place. The value of an innovation depends on socioeconomic, climatic, and ecological specifics. Export of technologies across regions without adaptation may lead to negative environmental side effects and wastage. A technology may have several versions to meet needs and capabilities of various users in a labor shortages led to mechanized equipment, and of course it also brought about drought conditions, and these drought conditions led to improved irrigation. The farmer cooperatives were established during periods of excessive low farm prices. Universities and startup companies are becoming more sources of new innovations. The ownership of the technology and leadership in its applications move between organizations over time. For incentives for innovations, patent awards monopoly rights. Patent protection allows publication of research findings that leads to innovations. Patent rights can be transferred. Patents are valid only where they are registered. Copyright protection is also there. Trade secrets is also there. Plant breeders' right is also there. And of course, the prizes together with the indigenous knowledge, which is poorly mechanical agricultural innovations. Yes, we're looking at this point, we're looking at tractors and cars adoption for our farms. Yes, we can see that we have a formula there where L stands for size of farm, A stands for saving per acre, and of course P represents cost of tractor. And we'll adopt the innovation of using a tractor if P is greater than A times L. That is to say, if P, which is cost of tractor, is greater than saving per acre together with size of farm, where L, size of farm, is a function of cost of tractor all over saving per acre. Critical size declines because P declines. As a result of learning by doing, A increases. In other words, saving per acre will increase as a result of learning. Going further, ladies and gentlemen, water saving technologies, that is to talk about the use of sprinkler in where there is drought. We must use sprinkler in order to save irrigation water, especially where the source of the water is expensive or it has a price. And so with traditional technology, we will adopt when 50% of water is actually consumed. So 50% will be what? Will be saved. And here we have 75% is consumed with a sprinkler, and it results in higher yield and water saving devices. They talked about the green revolution technologies, which we say they are high yielding varieties, and we want to adopt that green revolution when the green revolution affords us with high yield and cost effects. Farmers have access to credit in this program, and there is adoption and the risk is low, and impacts of technologies are unknown, and of course there is risk considerations. This risk consideration usually slow innovation. And of course, we can as well accept an alternative approach. That alternative approach is appreciated when highest benefit is sure, given that it yields minimum required benefits at low worst case scenario. This approach aims at assuring sufficient resource during drought, and of course it brings about good inventories, banking systems, and asset accumulation possibilities, which reduce the need for protection against and coming to Unit 14, which has to do with implication of these processes. Ladies and gentlemen, the introduction says that adoption studies on agriculture technologies have often revealed that farm households that did adopt have systematically different characteristics than the group of farm households that did not adopt. It has also shown that adoption of such improved technology reduces poverty significantly. This confirms or underscores the potential direct role of agricultural technology adoption on improved rural households' welfare, as higher incomes from improved technology also mean less inadequate local supply of seeds, equipment, etc., and access to information about the new innovation are key constraints for adoption of such innovation. This implies the need for policy to strengthen and leverage government extension services and rural institutions to promote and create awareness about the existing improved technology of agriculture. The government will need to take the lead in technology promotion and dissemination at the initial stages and in creating an enabling environment for effective participation of the private sector. The government will need to, and in creating an enabling environment for effective take the lead in technology promotion and dissemination at the initial stages participation of the private. Distance learning, as it were, refers to the teaching and learning situation in which the instructor and learner are engaging in interactive instructional settings when they are separated geographically by time and space. Of course, the Open University system is practicing in a distance learning system, but here I think we're trying everything possible to bridge the gap. Okay, however, distance learning takes advantage of currently available technologies to achieve two main objectives. One, providing equitable access to quality education and meeting the unique learning needs and systems and styles of individuals. Distance education technology holds great potential for enhancing teaching in most institutions of learning, but faculty must be willing and prepared to it. Implications of stages of innovation. These stages of innovations are five, and these are the knowledge stage, and this knowledge stage calls for recall of information, comprehension of messages, and acquisition of knowledge or skill for effective adoption of innovation. The second is the persuasion stage, and during the persuasion stage, there is liking the innovation, discussion of new behavior with others, acceptance of the message, and so on and so forth. In this particular stage, there is one-on-one or interpersonal communication where persuasion is carried out. Of course, the decision, this is the stage where there is a change in attitude, either to accept or not to accept the innovation, and that leads to implementation. And in the case of this implementation, there is the use of the innovation on regular basis. And finally, the confirmation stage. At the confirmation stage, the benefits of using the innovation is recognized and integrated. An integration of the innovation into ongoing routine is achieved, and there is promotion of innovation to the consequences. Of course, we have different consequences of the innovation decisions. As the use of some new innovation spreads throughout a group or society, concern must ultimately shift away from how it happened to what impact has it had or will it have. Okay, the difficulty surrounding the assessment of consequences is based on a number of inhibiting factors. The first is resulting from some type of innovation which occurs over a long period of time. The second inhibiting factor is who is the sponsor. Such investigations tend to be the agencies that introduce the innovation. And of course, finally, thirdly, is the difficulty to directly identify a resultant effect of the particular innovation. And finally, is the evaluation of positive versus negative consequences, which can result from the innovation. In spite of these difficulties, we must still strive to access these changes that these new modes of communication inject into our social. Ladies and gentlemen, we have different types of consequences are desirable versus undesirable consequences, direct and indirect consequences, the anticipated consequences. And here we have the conclusion, which says that mechanization in agriculture embraces the use of tools, implements, and machines for agricultural land development, crop production, harvesting, preparation for storage, and on-farm processing. Successful efforts to diffuse an innovation depends on characteristics of the situation, knowledge. It occurs when an individual is exposed to the innovation existence and gains some understanding of how it functions. Here we have some assignments which they are for you to carry out so that it helps you in knowing what you have done and so on and so forth, and gives you an in-depth knowledge. With that, I say thank you.